What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big up to all of my subscribers, those of you who have been rocking with me from day one. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm glad that you still subscribe to my channel. And those of you who have just subscribed recently, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. And if this is your first time ever hearing any of my content and you like what you hear today, please make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell. So in the event that I do any more content or upload any videos, you will be the first to know. So I'm going to go into this recipe right along as quickly as I can because I have to go to work tonight. So as a lot of you already know, I have become a correctional officer at a sheriff department here located in my hometown. And I've been doing it for 3 months. What's up, Naima, Poetic, my booze? How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. And as y'all notice, I've been doing this for almost 3-4 months. And a lot of people actually ask me if I like my profession. Yes and no. I like it and don't like it at the same time. I actually do a lot of 12-hour shifts. I'm glad that we're fully staffed right now because in the first month that I worked, I only had like 3 days off that whole month. So I thank God now that we have enough of people, I can get way more days off compared to what I used to have. And it's definitely very, very, very challenging. So I thought tonight that I would discuss the challenges of being a female correctional officer, because there's some people, women that are curious about this type of profession, and then you have some people that are actually considering pursuing this type of profession. So for anybody that's interested in seeing, wanting to know more about the pitfalls and the pros and the cons, basically, that comes with being a correctional officer as a female. I'm definitely going to present all of that to you because being a female correctional officer is definitely more challenging compared to being a male correctional officer, because the wing that I work in, I am over 70 men. I can be over from 70 to 72 men all at one time, and I am the only woman in that unit over 72 grown men. However, I'm not literally alone. What's up, radars? Yeah. Good to see you. And I'm not completely alone because the way it's set up is like 4 wings, and then you have like the center part, and in the center part is always another officer there. So if something takes off or something jumps off, there's an officer there. Plus we got cameras all over. So I'm never 100% alone. And what I do like about my job is I am in charge. I'm in charge. Whatever I say is going to go my way. What's up, Titan? Whatever wings I'm over, my lieutenant, my sergeant does not micromanage me, which is really, really good. Especially in that type of profession, because you have to be able to regulate things in a way to where it's comfortable for you, versus somebody telling you how to handle an inmate, how to regulate an inmate. What's up, Savannah Seaport? I think it's too much when you have somebody that's micromanaging you as a correctional officer, and that's what I do like, is that I'm not micromanaged. I'm basically able to make my own rules as long as it's within reason, and I'm not abusing my authority over the inmates. I pretty much run the show. And that is what I really do like about my profession. I run the show. However I want my wing to operate, that's how my wing is going to operate. If I tell the inmates that, look, we're not doing no TV tonight. I'm not doing, let y'all take any phone calls tonight because everybody was too disrespectful. Everybody was too out of pocket. I can shut it down. It's going to be my way or no way at all. And that's what I do like about it. Now, so moving further along for everybody who's just coming in, I'm talking about the challenges of being a female correctional officer in a jail or correctional facility. So in my line of duty, it's been very rewarding but challenging at the same time. To me, the correctional institution is overcrowded with overgrown little boys that feel a sense of entitlement, even after demonstrating that they have no regards for the law or any type of authority. Most of the inmates I encounter daily have charges such as non-payment of child support, domestic violence offenses, selling or distribution of drugs, DUIs, drug courts, financial fraud transactions, murder, assaults, theft, probation violations, state custody holds, etc. The majority of inmates under my care are repeat offenders or habitual offenders, meaning they're constantly returning back to jail or prison for the same crimes or excessive crimes. This is also known as the theory of the revolving door, or what is known as recidivism. What I have also come to learn, that it's not so much that offenders hate jail or prison, but they hate the rules and the authority the correctional system has over them. So it's this myth. What I've learned being a correctional officer is that as much as these dudes claim they hate jail, they despise, jail, they despise the officers, they act like they hate jail so much, but a lot of them keep coming back. And it's not that they really hate the jail, they hate the authority the jail has over them. Okay, because if you really hated jail, you would be doing everything in your power not to come back. You will avoid putting yourself in a situation in which you would end up arrested and have to be under the care of the correctional facility. So when a lot of them act like they hate prison or hate jail, I can't tell. Not if you keep coming back for the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? So it also, let me see what else. If you think about it, it's common sense. You're not going to keep going back to something you truly hate. Okay? You're not going to keep going back to something you really hate. If seafood makes you vomit, are you going to keep eating it? If seafood is making your face swell up and is closing your throat, you're not going to keep eating seafood, right? Are you going to keep using a soap product that causes an allergic reaction to your skin? The soap making your skin turn red and you're swelling. So with that being said, most of these dudes don't really hate jail. They don't hate prison. They hate the authority prison represents and the rules and regulations that prevent them from being able to do what they want to do. So that's really what it is. And let's just face it. We have a lot of grown-ass men and women that just haven't grown up. That's just the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing deep to it. You have a lot of grown people that just have not grown up. There are some grown individuals that have become set in their ways, their beliefs, their principles, and their own ideologies, regardless of how ridiculous or senseless it may seem. You have some grown people that have the mindset of a child. They want to do whatever they want without having to suffer the consequences or pay for their actions. Now, keep in mind, I am assigned as a female officer to an all-male unit. I do not deal with female inmates. I only deal with men. And I'm glad, because female inmates are way too emotional. They're too much. I don't want to deal with women. Not as far as inmates, because they don't let nothing go. Men, on the other hand, are not as emotionally wired. So I just rather work in a men's unit. So I specifically deal with men inmates. I don't deal with female inmates. So therefore, I will only be addressing in tonight's topic how female officers interact with male inmates. Okay, I cannot address how female officers deal with female inmates, because I don't deal with females. I have not worked in the female unit since I've been there. I'm over men. That's the unit I'm assigned to. I'm over men. So therefore, I will only be addressing how female officers interact with male inmates. I cannot give too much information on female inmates because I don't work with female inmates. In my line of profession, I witnessed grown men that have physical attributes of a man: the bulging triceps, biceps, thick facial hair, the excessive tattoos, the deep voices. And yet I've seen these grown ass men behave like little boys when they don't get their way. If you're interested in becoming a female correctional officer, or would like to know more about becoming a female correctional officer, in this content, I'm going to be discussing all of the elements that play into it. So, starting with the first thing, as a female correctional officer, it's a man's world. Okay, it's a man's world. Even though women have earned the rights of equality centuries ago, you are still dealing with a lot of men that still have that old school concept that a man is a man and a woman is just a slave, a cook, and someone that just bears children. So when an inmate that thinks like this encounters a female correctional officer, his defenses are automatically going to stand in the way of a woman having authority over them. Especially when you're dealing with inmates over the age of 60 or higher. They are stuck in the 60s era when women were treated as slaves and second class citizens. Now, don't get it twisted. There are also young men that have the same attitude. When I encounter these types of egotistical dudes, I lay down the law and I still display respect. So, with that in mind, you have to realize there's some men that still have this egotistical attitude that it's a man's world. A man is supposed to lead what he says goes, and I don't have a problem with a man who feels that way. What's up, cool gent? I don't have a problem with a man that has that ideology that a man is supposed to run the castle, a man is supposed to lead. I don't have a problem with a man who thinks that way. But my problem is when they come into my wing, or when they come in a correctional facility and they have to get authority from a woman. Guess what? That 1950 mentality, that's not going to work there, because once you enter a correctional facility because you have been arrested and you become an offender, all of that goes out the door. There is no man's world. It's the prison world. It's our world. You are in our world once you become an inmate, an offender. So all of that, how you feel about women, it does not matter. Once you enter inside those gates and those doors are locked behind you, you don't call the shots. And that is one of the biggest challenges I have, is that there's a lot of grown men who think because they're 6'3", they're 6'7", and they listening to this 5-foot woman who has to look up at them when she's talking to them. It makes them feel some type of way. Now, for the most part, most of these guys embrace it. I will say that most of the guys, they do what I tell them to do. Most of the male inmates, they do what I say do. I don't really have too much of a big problem with them or whatever, because in actuality, some guys, they're less reluctant to take an order. They're more liable. They're more willing to take an order from a woman than a man officer, because when a man officer is giving them instructions or authority, it's like an ego thing. But that's one advantage of being a female officer. When a female is telling them what to do, some of the guys actually embrace that because they don't see the woman as a threat. They don't see her as her feminist aura threatening his egotistical ways, basically. What's up, D boys? Those ways men don't represent men in general. And no, they absolutely do not. That's why I'm talking about how these inmates are, because inmates compared to men is two totally different colors. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But for everybody who's coming in, I'm talking about the challenges of being a female officer. So again, these dudes, not these men, these little boys, these man child, because the prison system is full of man child. We have a lot of men childs. We got a lot of boy childs within the facility. They know we're on a level of grown men out here in the real world who's working, who's doing everything to stay from up under the jail. You got men out here, you got black men, white men who are doing everything they can to avoid becoming an offender. They work and they taking care of their family. They making money through legal means because they don't want to fall prey to the system. So you have grown ass men out here who are avoiding becoming another statistic. What's up, Mickey Jaymz? Good to see you. Mama's boys, prisoners prefer women officers. I don't think so much that. I just think I just think from what I'm learning being there, just depending on what type of female officer you are, it is if you're not one of those women that's too soft with them, because I'm very stern. A lot of them they are willing to deal with you even if you're a female officer, as long as you treat them respectfully and you treat them like men, because I don't baby none of the inmates. I don't baby them. I treat them like grown men. So I don't think it's so much that men who do listen to female officers are because they mama's boys. I just think they respect the fact that I treat them like a grown ass man. Like in the jail, I call them Mister. I say Sir. I talk to them like they're grown men. I don't talk to them like they're boys. I'll say Mr. Jackson. You need to make sure you get your commissary in. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. No, sir. I serve them all the time because at the end of the day, they're still grown ass men. Inmates are not. It doesn't give me the right to treat them like they boys, like they children. Because that's where you start having problems for yourself as a female officer, when you treat these grown men like they're children. And even though they act like children, it's still a way you have to treat them. So that's one of the challenges, ladies. That's one of the challenges, guys, as far as being a female officer. You got some men who feel like it's a man's world. You a woman. Who are you to be coming up in here and telling me what to do? But guess what? The jail hired me. So guess what? The jail don't care nothing about me being a woman. The jail don't care nothing about the fact that I bleed once a month. The correctional facility don't care nothing about I got breasts, I can bear children. The correctional facility hired me because I am qualified to do the job. That's what it boils down to, or whatever. So again, some of these guys, they look at this 5-foot woman that has to look up to them. And yes, I have to look up to guys because I'm only 5 foot even. I have to look up to them when I'm telling them what to do. I'm damn near when they turn around and I got to cuff them, I got to rest them. My head is basically in front of their ass. That's how tall most of these dudes are. So some guys, for the most part, some of them they find it I don't want to say cute, but they find it it's a word for it. They just kind of find it hilarious in some ways because they see me doing a man's job, but doing it on a level of a 5-foot female. So sometimes I got to step on my tippy toes to cuff them, depending on how tall they are. You know what I mean? So all of that comes with the territory. And believe it or not, a lot of the female officers that I work with, all of us are at least 5. I'm 5 even. You got some that are 5'1" and 5'2". You got a lot of short female officers that look like little girls. So yes, I'm 5 foot even exactly. So I got to go around and tell these 6'2", 6'7" guys, hey, you need to return to your cell. Hey, you need to return to your pod. That's what I have to. That's what I'm dealing with. Okay, my officers don't. Let me see. Oh, I see the male officers don't see them as men. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that could be issue too. Now, this is the next thing. Most inmates are incarcerated because of an offense committed against a woman. Most of the guys that are incarcerated, it has everything to do with something they did to a woman. Most male inmates that are in jail or prison are because of a crime committed against a woman. Inmate could have possibly raped, sexually or physically assaulted, or in worst case scenarios, murdered a woman. So, because they are in jail because of a woman, even though they're the ones who committed the offense, the last thing they want is to take any orders from a woman. That's the last thing they want. Half of them are in there because, like I said, they committed a crime against a woman. So now you got to come in jail and be under the authority of a woman. Basically, he's a male chauvinist that doesn't respect the opposite sex in general. So he's going to be less likely to comply. A lot of these guys, when I'm finding out, the one or two that I have had issues with disrespecting me, when I go and look up their record to see what they're in there for, most of them are in there because of some type of domestic violent encounter. And that pretty much lets me know what I'm up against. Whenever I'm having an issue with a male inmate disrespecting me or talking or getting out of pocket with me, and I look at his record and I realize the reason he is in there is because he tried to strangle a woman, he stalked a woman. It lets me know. I said, okay, this lets me know that you wasn't going to respect me anyhow, because the reason you got in this jail in the first place is because you did something to a woman. So you really don't have respect for women anyway. And that is a challenge as a female officer. You're going to have inmates that are in prison because they done beat on their wives, they done slapped and punched their girlfriends, they have stalked women, they have raped women. So men who have committed these type of offenses, they are used to conquering women. They are used to controlling women. They are used to regulating women. So the last thing anyone to do is come in the facility and a woman tell them what to damn do. So this is a challenge as a female. But the thing about it is, even if you know these guys have committed this type of offense, you still have to remain professional. Even if you know they don't rape somebody, you know they done sexually assaulted a child that was under the age of 12. I'm looking at these guys and I'm seeing them face to face, and I still have to keep my composure. I still have to remain professional, even though he may have raped or hurt a child that's my daughter's age. I cannot take none of these guys' offenses. I cannot take it personal. Because once you start taking these inmates personal, that's where you lose focus of your job as an officer. And that's something that you have to be careful as a female officer, because women by nature, we are emotional creatures. We are. So when you have this 6'2" guy that's disrespecting you, talking to you all kind of way, and you know he's in there because he done beat up his wife, he done fought his woman, that's automatically gonna make you feel some type of way, like, you know what I mean? It's human nature. Like, the audacity of this dude, it's going to automatically make you feel some type of way, but you have to remain professional. So you have to keep that in mind. You're dealing with inmates who are used to bringing some type of harm or having control over women. So you have to keep that in mind if you ever decide to become a female officer. That's something that you're going to have to deal with. Now, the next thing is, female officers are the most likely to be finessed. It's by human nature that a man is a hunter by nature. So with that being said, a man is naturally on a hunt to target the opposite sex, a woman. He's going to try to conquer because it's the nature of the beast. So when you are in a facility surrounded by 60 to 80 of men, several of them are going to try and pursue you or challenge you. Many have this misconception that most women are consistently seeking validation or attention from them. And it's only right for men to think that because women these days are on social media posting thought magnet or instant skank pictures. They will compliment you. They will notice the new nail color of your polish down to the creases in your pants. They will notice the smallest details about you that your own man at home won't notice because they have so much time on their hands to be observant. Basically, you can't be lonely or an attention starved seeking female because you will be preyed upon. That's how you see these female officers on the news holding their heads down, wearing a hoodie as they're being arrested for fraternizing. Now, keep in mind, these guys notice everything about you. For instance, I iron my jeans. At least I iron my pants because we're not allowed to wear jeans. I iron my cargo pants or whatever. At least twice a week, maybe once a week. And it's been times I've come to work and I'm in my wing and we have an upstairs and a downstairs. So it may be like 50 inmates upstairs, and then it may be like 30 downstairs or whatever. So in the closed bay, they all are behind closed doors, and I have to walk around and I look through the windows, making sure nobody's not dead, nobody's not getting beat up or whatever. If I'm in the open bay, there is no doors. So I just basically walk around and just make sure everybody's in their pods and nobody's not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. But when I'm walking around, they'll always stop me and they'll be like, "Hey, officer so and so, what's up, CO? This, that, and the third. I like the crease in your pants." This is how detailed they are. They notice the crease in your pants. They notice when I change my hair a different color. They notice the new nail polish on my hands. They notice if I'm wearing 2 rings today versus the other day when I only wore 1 ring. They pay attention to every single detail. As a female officer, they will monitor everything you wear down to if your pants are very tight, all of that. Yeah, they're basically like military cooching. Can you tell when inmates are high? To a certain degree, but we don't really have too much of that there because where I'm at is pretty strict. It has been known to happen where somebody was able to sneak some weed in here and there, but for the most part, we don't really have. I haven't ran into a situation not like that yet. Um, they notice when your boots are really shiny. They notice when you change shoes. Like, I hate wearing boots. I hate the type of police officer boots. Those things are uncomfortable. So I stopped wearing them and I invested in some regular correctional officer sneakers. And they noticed it. I came to work. Oh, we noticed you're not wearing your boots today, huh? Oh, now you're wearing your sneakers. So if you're the type of female you're easy to be finessed, this is not the profession for you. Because they notice everything. If you're attention starved and you love attention, this is not the job for you because they're definitely going to give you that. They're going to give you plenty of attention. Down to they notice my perfume. Every time I put on a new perfume, they notice that it's not the same perfume that I wore the other day. They'll ask me, "What kind of perfume is that you wearing? What kind of so and so is that you wearing?" Okay, well, this is cherry blossom, whatever. Oh, that smells really, really nice. You got to remember, jail smells like jail, and I really can't explain it. Jail has an odor. Jail has a jail odor. I can't explain it. It's not a foul smell. At times, it really is a foul smell, especially if that inmate does not like to shower. If that inmate is not really, you know, he's not really attentive to his personal care. He doesn't wash, he doesn't shave. Jail smells like jail. So when you come in a facility smelling like uh um Burberry or Jupe or any of those things, Javon Musk, these guys are going to notice it. Um every little smell, every little thing means something to them because you got to remember they're locked up all of the time. So when you are a female officer and you come around them smelling like roses or you smelling like tropical fruit punch or something, they're going to notice it because they don't have access to those things. Things on the outside that a man probably is not going to notice. Like you could wear perfume on your job, a man probably not going to notice it, but those inmates notice it day in and day out. They notice if you got a different perfume, you got a different cologne, they're going to notice it. What is the most fun part about being a correctional officer? I would say the fact that I get to call the shots. What's up, Rollo? Good to see you. Good to see you, Seven. I like the fact that I get to regulate my wing the way I want to regulate it. I have all control over my wing. Like I stated, my lieutenant, my sergeant, they don't micromanage. I pretty much do how I want to do with my wing. I'm allowed to discipline the way I want to discipline. I can discipline them by writing them up and taking away their commissary. I could take away their TV time. I could take away their chair time. If they get too out of hand, get too out of pocket, I can restrict them to where they have to stay in their cell for 3 hours. Depending on the extreme, I can have them stay in their cell for 6 hours. If they really, really off the chain, I can get them removed out of my wing period. So I like the fact that the staff for the most part is going to have your back. If you have a problem with an inmate and they see that inmate is just straight unruly, they're going to get him away from you. They take safety very, very serious there. If I call my lieutenant, I call my sergeant, I don't feel right about this guy. I feel like he's going to try something. I don't trust his brain. I don't trust I don't trust something about him. I don't know what it is. I don't have to produce a lot of receipts to get them to act on it. You have some jobs where you got to produce a lot of receipts. You got to prove. You got to do this. You got to do that in order for them to then they'll act. No, if they get too out of control, they get too out of pocket. I like the fact that for the most part, my job is going to take my word. If I say this inmate is doing something, they're not going to question me a whole lot. They're not going to investigate it too strongly unless it's something. If I make a very severe accusation, like an inmate tried to rape me, something like that, then yeah, of course they still got to investigate. But for the most part, if I say, hey, this inmate is disrespectful, he don't have no respect for authority. After that third write up, they're gonna get him up out of there. And they're gonna put him somewhere much worse where he would have wished he would have been humbled himself, kept his mouth closed, so he could have stayed where he was. So that's what I do like about my job. I absolutely love to pay. I love to pay. The checks I get now, I've never gotten them before. The money is awesome, the benefits is awesome. So that's what I like about when some and first the other part about it is I'm tongue tied. Some of the inmates they make your job interesting. A lot of them they'll talk with you, they'll joke with you. You know they'll they make the job a little more fun, a little more exciting. It's like, you hold a conversation just because they inmates. That don't mean you can't talk with them, you can't joke with them, but you got to know how far to go. You can't have to do no sexual jokes with them. You can't be flirting with them. You can't talk to that same inmate day in and day out and disregard the rest of them in there. It's just a way that you have to remain professional. So you can have a good time and laugh and kick jokes with them, but you got to know how far to go, and you got to learn there's a cutoff line. Okay, all right, you need to get back to your pod. You need to get back to your cell now. No inmate should feel comfortable with coming down talking to you every goddamn day. He's at your desk every day talking to you. Nah, he's too comfortable. He don't need to be that comfortable. To where now, if he wants to stop by every day and say good morning, good afternoon, that's fine. But if he coming to you every day and the conversation is over 10 minutes, something ain't right with that. You're getting too acquainted. He's trying to become too acquainted with you. So you got to be careful with that. It's all about common sense. Do you mainly work night or do you work some day shifts? Yes, in the first beginning, I worked a lot of day shifts, which is a pain in the behind, because during the day, every time an inmate has to leave your wing because he has to go to medical, because he has to go to court, because he has to see the lawyer, you have to put hand restraints on them and leg restraints on them, and it could be a bit much. If you got 70 inmates in your wing and 8 or 9 of them is coming out throughout the day, do you realize how much cuffing that is? Cuffing legs and cuffing arms. We got to cuff both, because Policy done got so strict now. If their lawyer come to see them, we can't just send them out there to the wing and they can sit down to the table and talk to their lawyer. We got to cuff these dudes. We got to handcuff them and leg cuff them because some of these inmates have been known to blow up and snap on and want to fight their own attorneys because they didn't get the type of sentence they wanted or the results they wanted or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something else you got to be cautious of. Um, during the daytime on certain days, you got to deal with commissary. I can't stand commissary. You got to stand there with the commissary lady while she gives each and every inmate. Now, mind you, it's 70 of them. So I'll say out to 70, you probably got 40. That's 30 that's getting commissary. No, that I don't know. That's too much because a lot of them guys don't get no commissary like that. They don't have no family support them like that. I'll say maybe about 25 guys out of 70 who get commissary. So you got to pop the doors open and have each and every one of them come down and check off they honey buns, they ramen noodles, they sodas, they beef jerkies, they moon pies, they water bottles, they envelopes, they stamps, they t-shirts, they drawers, they socks, they shoes, they soap. They got commissary done got so expensive, they even charging these dudes for jelly, for mustard, for ketchup, for condiments, stuff that used to be free. They got to pay for that stuff now. So I have to wait till each and every these guys come down, and when somebody sends them a package, they got to count all of that stuff. Who wants to sit there a whole 2 hours while these guys count their sodas, their honey buns, their moon pies, their socks, their drawers, their sweatshirts, their stamps, their envelopes? Who wants to sit there? That is one of the most boringest things I hate. I hate commissary. With a passion. I be glad on my days off. I be glad when when they have commissary on my days off. So the good thing is I'm working night shift now, so I don't have to deal with that stuff. That is why now I do night shift. I specifically asked to move the night shift because I got tired of doing that. It's sickening. I'm missing a soda. Y'all only gave me 30 sodas. I'm supposed to have 31 sodas. These guys are very petty. They whine and cry about everything. You missing gave me a vanilla moon pie. I'm supposed to have a banana moon pie. You missing gave me a pineapple soda. I'm supposed to have a root beer. I got 5 pair of drawers and you only gave me 4. And this holds up the whole process of commissary. Oh my gosh. That is very annoying. Then you have visitation going on doing commissary. That's sickening too, because you got visitors popping up on the screen. So I have to let them know they visitors are there doing commissary. And commissary is a very critical moment because what's up, Wonderful Watson? You got to watch these cats because you don't need them sneaking each other's commissary or giving the commissary lady a hard time because these guys are very argumentative. They're very combative about their commissary. So throughout day shift, there's a lot that goes on. Like I said, you got to cuff them and search them when they go to court. When they come back from court, you got to deal with the commissary. You got to deal with the pill call. Pill call is very sickening, which means you got to pop doors open for them to come down, for them to take their medicine and all of that. And then when they're taking their medicine, you got to make sure they swallow their medicine because some of these guys are known to smuggle pills or smuggle medication. They will smuggle their pills and sneak and give it to other inmates that are not supposed to have it. So it's basically like overgrown ass child care. Like you got to sit there and make sure a child eat their Brussels sprouts and eat their carrots before they leave the table. Because you know, if you turn your back and you leave it to them to eat their carrots and their Brussels sprouts, they're going to throw it away or they're going to do something. They're not going to eat it. So it's basically jail is like an overgrown child care center. You got to watch these jokers and make sure they don't pour nothing on you. Like I'll say one time this happened to me when I was in the first time. This was when I was kind of new here and I was still learning the ropes and things of that nature. During child time, we have a big old cart that comes in with trays. So if it's 70 inmates in there, you may have like 75 trays. We always order extra trays in case somebody's order gets screwed up because some of these guys got special diets. Some of these guys are vegan. Some of them are vegetarian and all of this other stuff and everything. So me still learning the ropes and not knowing any better. when it was child time, guys would come down and get their tray. I'll ask them their names so I could check them off. These guys were so slick and so conniving because they knew I was new there, and I really didn't understand how child was working. How I didn't really understand how to really do it. I was still learning at that time. They would come down and tell me somebody else's name, and then get that person to come down and say somebody else's name. And I was giving somebody else's tray to people that the trays wasn't supposed to go to. So the trays will come up short before I finish serving my child. And this was another thing they would do. Like if they in a room with a roommate and a roommate asleep, right? They would come down and say, well, could I get so-and-so tray? Well, can I get blah, blah, blah tray? Could I so-and-so and so-and-so? And me not knowing any better, I'm like, okay, that's his roommate. If you want to get his roommate tray, as long as I check it off, that's fine. Only to have the roommate come down and tell me I didn't get my tray. What do you mean you didn't get your tray? So-and-so told me he was taking your tray to you. Ma'am, I didn't get your tray. So I was getting shysted both ways. Either they really didn't get their tray, or they lied, or they lied and the guy did give them their tray. But because I did not let them come down and physically show me their face so I could check them off and sign them off, I really couldn't say if he had got the tray or not. So the first couple of times I got hustled. Every female officer starting off, every male officer starting off, just be prepared. You're going to get hustled a lot the first month. It's going to happen until you learn the ropes, until you learn what to look out for. You're going to get pimped. You're going to get tried. You're going to get shysted. It's going to happen. And you can't feel bad about it because that's how you learn. So once I got pimped, it happened to me like 2-3 times, and it didn't happen to me anymore after that once I made a system for myself. Now, I had another guy who tried that same thing. Let me tell you how slick this joker was. He had got a special diet tray, and what happens is sometimes the diet trays, they'll miss or forget to send you their diet trays. So I'm up here trying to find out where his diet tray is, right? I turn my back to look for the tray, and once I turn my back, this joker stole another tray, right? He went to go eat the tray. Now, mind you, when he went to sit down, I had to continue with my child because I had I had a line full of inmates. I ain't got time to hold up the child because some keep looking for a certain trait. And this guy, after I done served child to everybody, this guy had the audacity to come back and have a fit and go off. I didn't get my tray. You didn't so and so and so and so. I said, excuse me? You ain't doing your effing job. I didn't even get my tray. I've been standing up here, blah, 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 blah. I said, sir, I was looking for your tray. I didn't see it. I got to contact the kitchen and let the kitchen know about the tray. This guy caused the scene, okay? And because I said, no, I'm not giving you a tray until I find out for sure if you got a tray or not. He lost his mind because he thought causing a scene and causing an uproar, acting like a bully was going to make me give in to him. I said, no, I'm not giving you no extra tray till I find out what's going on. Now, this is how I know dude was shysting me. Because when I told him that, right, he went back into his room calmly. He didn't even argue about it. Because if a person really didn't get their tray, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to let up until they get their tray. If somebody really did not eat, they really did not get their tray, they're not going back down that easily, okay? He calmly went back to his cell after he made a scene about he didn't get his tray. So I knew something was up. And let me tell you something, as a woman, you got to have female intuition like a bitch when you're working in these type of places. You got to make sure you are on high alert at all times. In his character, he gave himself away just based on his character. And that's what a lot of these inmates are dumb at. If you want to get by and get over, don't stand out like a sore thumb. You bring attention to yourself when you're being disrespectful, you're being loud, you're being obnoxious, you're doing the most, you bring attention to yourself. He made himself stand out like a sore thumb when he was bitching about the tray. If he was smart, he could have stole the tray, kept going, sit down quietly, then come back up there later and call me, just act like you didn't get your tray. Then he probably got another one. But see, a lot of these inmates are not that smart. A lot of them too smart for their own good. He made himself stand out even more when he made the scene and cursing and going off on me about a tray. So I contacted my sergeant, And he said, well, I'm going to run the camera back. Roll that beautiful beam footage. Now, I don't understand for the life of me how inmates think we not going to peep game when we run the camera back. How you figure you could lie about you didn't get a tray, you didn't get this, you didn't get that, when all we got to do is run the camera back? Well, we ran the camera back. This fool was lying. He stole a tray. That's why I knew he was lying that he didn't eat, because he went back to his tray calmly. So you know what I did? I wrote him up and I made sure he didn't eat no commissary that Friday too. You didn't get no honey buns, no ramen noodles, no nothing. Do not play with me. I love it when they play with me. I don't get mad, because I'm gonna get my point across one way or another. Because you're gonna want to watch TV, you're gonna want to make a phone call. Oh, I got the remedy. Trust and believe. So once that happened to me, I said, okay, I have to do something different with how I do these trays. So being that the inmates wear armbands, what I do now, I haven't had any more trays missing since then. That's all it took for me. Because one thing about me, I am a slow learner to a certain degree, but once I really learn the system, I'm unstoppable. You can't do anything with me once I done figured out the strategy. So what I do now, after that altercation, and I didn't have any more problems with him once I wrote him up, because he thought I was going to let him slide, and I didn't. I wrote him up for it. So what I do now is I only let a certain amount of inmates come out at a time to get their trays. Because at that time, I had let too many of them come out at once. I think I let like maybe 15 or 20 of them, and I don't do that now. I may only let 6 at a time come out. Once 6 get their tray, I send them back, then the next 6. That way I can monitor the trays. Not only that, I don't turn my back anymore. I watch and I look the whole time. I make sure the tray goes in their hand. Not only that, when they come up, I check their armbands. So I can see, they can't just tell me their name. I can see who the hell they are. So they can't sit up there and lie and say, my name is James, my name is Mike. No, your armband is not going to lie and tell me who you are. That's why they are required to wear their armbands, because these jokers will try to take their armbands off and they'll want to give you some random name, and you can't identify them because you got a lot of them that's in the facility or whatever. So that's what I do now. So even though lunch is slower, and trust and believe, they be bitching about it. Why? It's only 3 of us coming out of time, because I said so. Y'all ain't got nowhere else to goddamn go. You can wait on your food. Where you going? Y'all don't have a hot date. You're going to stand there and wait on your tray as long as it takes. Because when I tried to do it fast, y'all kept pulling the fast one on me. So guess what? You're going to get your tray slowly. That way I know who's getting their trades. And once I got better and once I got familiar with faces, now I let out 7 or 8 at a time, and I can check them off without even looking at their armbands, because I know who they are. So that was one of the things that I had to learn. And some things, like I said, you're going to get pimped, you're going to get taken advantage of. But along the way, when these jokers be doing you in, they make you smarter. That's what I do like about these inmates doing me in, because it makes me smarter. It makes me step my game up. It makes me sharpen myself. It makes me cross all my T's. It makes me dot all my I's. I have not had any more missing trays since then, because I don't play that mess with them. Period. Point blank or whatever. So as a female correctional officer, you're going to get pimped. Just realize that. Now the next thing is like I said, so as a female, you just got to be careful, because these guys, they notice every little thing about you. And if you're not getting attention from home, if you're not getting complimented at home, and these guys get to complimenting you and trying to finesse you, you can easily, fall prey to the game that they're playing. Now, this is another thing that a lot of female correctional officers have to understand. And after this point, I'm going to have to wrap it up, because I'm going to have to leave, I know, in a little while, and get ready, get myself prepared. So I'm going to end up having to do a part 2 on this. But I want to make this last point. An inmate can be observative, but it does not mean he's attracted to you. Many female officers or women that have worked in a type of position in a man's correctional facility have lost their jobs and had to walk the hall of shame by fraternizing with the inmate. These inmates hustle and manipulate you like you would wash dishes, drive a car, or water the yard. There's no real thought put into it. It just comes natural to them to hustle. It's a part of the game, and what I personally would like to call incarceration manipulation. If an inmate tells you your hair is pretty or he likes the smell of your new perfume, you can either totally ignore it, or what I do, I say thank you and I just keep it moving. That's it. I don't have a long drawn out conversation with them about it. Um, he may be an inmate, but he's still a man. I mean, so if he compliments me, it's just a compliment. I don't take it deeper than that. I just don't. I hear it, but I don't hear it at the same time. If the inmate says your perfume smells nice or your hair looks nice or whatever, oh, thank you. And I go. I keep going. I don't hold no, well, I got my perfume from this place, or Arlene, she did my hair. I don't do all that extra stuff. You know what I mean? I just keep it moving. As long as he doesn't take it too far and he's not calling me pet names, saying sexy, sweetie, or boo, I normally just brush it off. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I do a thank you, Met V, because I was told that, you don't even tell them thank you. Don't even say so and so. My thing is, I can still be professional and say thank you, because guess what? Thank you is just a word to me. There's nothing deep to it. Now, if you're telling me my ass is big, I'm not going to say thank you to that. I don't say thank you to, oh, I like how your breasts look in that shirt. If the inmate tells me my hair looks nice, I say thank you. And that's it. I can say thank you, and it means absolutely nothing. They're not going to get no further than that. So to me, that's just me. If a man in the street compliment me and say my hair looks nice, thank you. And I keep going in my car. I'm not going to sit there and indulge and hold a long drawn out conversation. I don't have any problems with it because I keep it moving. The inmates, they already know with me, it's a no-go. They could compliment me, I say thanks, and I move on. Now, when you start talking about my body, or I like how them jeans fit, them pants fitting on you, now certain things, no, you cannot say thank you. You can't, or whatever. And it depends on who it's coming from. The older guys, I don't have a problem telling them thank you. But when it's them young guys, like, yeah, you got a fat this, a fat that, I don't do that with them. You can tell when a guy is being fresh, or a guy is just simply complimenting. So I don't take it deep like that, because they inmates, but they're men. So, I'm not going to give them my number. I'm not getting up with them. I don't care how much they tell me how good I look. I've heard them say, you look nice today. You look pretty today. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. Thank you. Now, could you please go to your pod? Thanks. Now, could you please get back in your jail? And that's it. And they know it's nothing else coming behind it. Another thing is, a lot of these guys are so lonely. So the presence of a female means something to them. But you can't be one of those thirsty females that are quick to get high off of a compliment. If they sense you're getting giddy about it, they're going to keep working on it until they conquer you. So again, as a woman, you can't be too bitchy, but at the same time, you can't be too flirty. You have to have a balance. It's women that's came in there with nasty attitudes because a guy says something. Oh, F you, get the F out my face. Don't F and say something to me. When you do stuff like that, or you handle these inmates in that manner, you make yourself a target. You make them want to bully you. You make them want to verbally attack you, because you got to realize these guys are already miserable. They're locked up. They're incarcerated. You know, so they're looking for you to bitch at them because they need to vent. They're angry, they're miserable. They look for somebody to give them that, and I just don't. Maybe says Mickey says some of these inmates will become my clients and continue the same behavior with my new coworkers. Absolutely, they do it all the time. Yep, don't say thank you to compliments of your natural features and accessories. Yeah, like I said, I just don't. You know what I mean? And they know how I am, so they know if I say thanks, ain't nothing else coming behind it. That don't mean I'm feeling you, or I'm not going to write your ass up just because you gave me a compliment, or I'm not going to get you put out the wing if you disrespect me. It's just words to me. I don't take it deep, because I've seen these same inmates who will like you today, and as soon as you write them up, you are the ugly this, you the ugly that. I had a guy who did that to me. I had an inmate who called himself trying to finesse me, tried to flirt with me, and he thought because I didn't cuss his ass out that it was doing something, or whatever. But I did address him. I said, hey, I'm officer, my last name, or whatever. I'm not sweetie. I'm not baby. I said, do not address me in that manner. So I would address him, but I didn't write him up. So whatever in his mind, I guess he thought he was getting somewhere with me because he was low-key finessing me, because you have a lot of them inmates, they'll low-key finesse you. He would just stare at me sometimes, like, you know how a man will stare at you like they have like a sick type of desire or something for you. I would just notice him. Sometimes he'll be staring in a daze, and he'll just be standing in one part of the jail, and he'll just like look over at me for a couple of seconds or whatever. It used to creep me the hell out. I didn't find nothing fascinating about it. But I can tell he was trying to low-key finesse me. When he would come to the desk and ask for certain things, he'll be like, you got any toilet tissue, you got any this, you got any that? I'd be like, no, I can't give out no toilet tissue till Sunday. That's supply day. Sunday and Wednesdays. Until then, I really can't, do anything about that. So after I answer his question, he'll just still kind of stand there for like a second or two, as if he was looking for something else to come of it. And when I started noticing he was doing that, I said, sir, I'm gonna need you to move from by my desk, because you've been standing here way too long. I can't have you standing by my desk for an excessive amount of time. So he was trying to like finesse me in a undercover type of way. And I had to write him up, because he was just doing things to draw attention to himself for no reason. Just not going to his cell on time when I said it's lockdown. Sneaking on the phone, making a call, knowing he's supposed to be on lockdown. He just kept doing all type of petty stuff. And I kept trying to spare this guy from getting kicked out of the program, because a lot of times when they come to the jail, the programs, they take a court order. And if they don't fall in alignment with the program and they get kicked out, it could affect their time, and it could affect them getting released. And I kept trying to spare this young man, because I knew he was under like, I think it was like 31, 30, like 20. He was close to 30. So he was young, and I knew he was ignorant. So I was trying to give him the benefit of a doubt. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just a little ignorant. Let me see. Mickey says, trying to distract you for your energy and time. Yeah, he was trying to be really sneaky, and it was pissing me off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but eventually I found out that's what he was doing. So I looked up his record, and I found out that he was an aggravated stalker. So it lets me know part of his character. He is used to having his way with a woman. And when he can't get his way, he'll stalk her. He'll do whatever he can to try to conquer her. So that let me know, on top of the way he was presenting himself, that this dude is sick. He got issues. So finally, he was on his third write-up. So when I approached his door, which I don't approach their doors anymore, because I realized that's not safe. When I approached his door, and even though the door is locked or whatever, and I handed him his write-up, he was boiling hot like a hot potato, because he knew this third write-up meant he was out of there for good. He knew at this point he could not redeem himself. So when I handed him the write-up, now, even though the offense he committed was very petty, I could have let it go. I could have just not even mentioned anything about it. But just the fact that I knew, he knew what he was doing, I said I couldn't let this guy slide, because he was trying to like mind fuck me, if that's the correct word. He was trying to game me mentally. And one thing I do not like is when an inmate tries to game me mentally. When they try to game me, I game them back. And even though it was petty, the offense he did was petty, and I could have just wrote it off, I knew if I did not address it, he would have took it further the next time. He would have took something small, and because I allowed him to get away with the small thing, it would have got bigger. And that's the thing about an inmate. You have to nip things in the butt right then and there. I don't care how small it is. If you tell an inmate, I don't want you on the phone after 10 o'clock, and it's 10:02, and you still got them on the phone, guess what? Next time it's going to be 10:03, it'll be 10:10, it'll be 10:20. Next thing you know, is this joker done. Now he just done completely got out of pocket with you. All because you kept letting him slide in little increments. So When I got him for that last offense, he lost it. He called me every ugly name you could think of. Now, when he thought he was having his way with me, he tried to finesse me by telling me, oh, your hair look nice, this, that, whatever. And he thought he was finessing me. And when I gave him that third write-up, reality hit him. Damn, I can't finesse this chick. And it made him go off. Now, he didn't physically put his hands on me and none of that, but he went off calling me all kind of disrespectful names, and I didn't care. I said, are you going to sign it or are you going to refuse? You going to write me up for something that small, for something that stupid? Yes, because you violated. And like I tell them all, this is my slogan. You violate, you're going to carry the weight. All of them know that slogan. So when they see me, they say, Officer so-and-so, I'm not going to violate today because I don't want to carry no weight. You violate, you're going to carry the weight. Meaning, if you do something you don't need to be doing, don't throw a bitch fit. Don't get mad if I catch you and you get rolled up for it. If you're going to violate, just be willing to carry the weight of the consequences. If you want to sneak on the phone, you want to sneak out your cell, you don't want to lock down when it's time to lock down, I'm not going to make you go to your cell. You're a grown-ass man. I'm going to just write you up. And I'm going to make sure you don't get to come out your cell for a couple of days. So if you want to lose your privileges over staying 3 minutes over lockdown, you want to lose 3 hours over 3 minutes, then that's on you. Because I'm not going to sit there and force and yell and scream and drag a grown man and make him go into his jail, make him go into the jail. And if you are insubordinate, I'm going to call a 1078 over the radio and get your behind moved up out of there once 20, 30 officers come in and have to take you down and pull you up out of there. And that's just what it boils down to. So anyway, I'm gonna have to get ready for work. So what I'm gonna have to do is pump the brakes and make this a part 1. And I'm gonna finish doing the part 2. It'll probably be tomorrow, most likely. I will play it by ear, but yep, I have to go in tonight because I go to work 7:30, and I usually leave around my house around 6:40 so I can be there or whatever. So anywho, this is just part 1 of the challenges of being a female correctional officer. So we're going to get ready to shut this operation down because I got to get ready for work. And I'm going to make my next points about being a female correctional officer. I'm going to address those. The next points I was going to make was I'm going to talk more on part 2 about how an inmate can be observant to you, but it doesn't mean he's attracted to you. It's a lot of women who really think these inmates are attracted to them. Just because a inmate compliments you and tell you look good, tell you your hair's pretty, a lot of it, guys, they're not even attracted to you like that. A lot of it just has to do with they're just trying to finesse you. They're trying to see how far you can go. They can go with you. So I'm going to go more in depth with that. I'm going to also talk about how inmates are seeking easy prey. They're looking for somebody that's simple-minded. They're looking for somebody that's weak. It starts off small and it can grow into something big. You start off, you sneak them a piece of gum. Next thing you notice, they telling you to bring in some weed. Next thing you notice, they telling you to bring in some meth. They have you sneaking and bringing in all kinds of stuff. And this is how a lot of female officers get caught up. It's the little things you do that messes you up. You give them a piece of gum, you give them a bag of chips. Other inmates find out about it. Well, are you going to give me some chips? How you looked out for him, but you didn't look out for me, and things of that nature. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about how some inmates are drama queens. We're going to talk about how the nice guys are just as dangerous as the nasty guys. And I'm going to also further discuss the things you need to do in order to be an effective female officer. So on that note, make sure you guys and you ladies tune in for me when I do my part 2 on the challenges of becoming a female correctional officer. Other than that, I appreciate each and every one of you for listening and for viewing. And until next time, it's your girl, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always bake you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. And until next time, later.